Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's reading. Today, we're going to be exploring why this person is still energetically tied to you. So, the theme this week was really about cord cuttings and soul ties, and I've got 3 piles for you to choose from. And we're going to look at what's keeping this tie alive and why you can't stop feeling their energy. So, number 1, we have over here with the sun. And then I have pre-shuffled these today. Group 2, we have the devil. And group 3, we have the moon. And as we move through this specific deck, it's very well worn because it is a very, a very loved deck. So go ahead, take your pick if you need a pause. Beautiful, but we are going to jump right into it here. Okay, so group 1, first off, let's just start with this sun card. I feel like the reason this person is tied to you is because you are so lively and youthful. Like, you have this energy of radiance. You know, you are magnetic. You can easily shift the energy in a room. Like, as soon as you walk in, like, everyone stops and stares and they pay attention to you. Like, you just carry this aura, this authority, this power. You're strong in yourself and your identity. You know who you are. You have this appreciation and this gratitude for life and abundance. And you're not afraid to be yourself. You're not afraid to stand in your power or to, show up and show who you are. And I think this person really finds that attractive about you, right? There's just something about you and your connection to the divine, even. Like, I feel like when we are exceedingly connected to God in such a way that we have this freedom, this happiness, we look at life like children, right? We have that lens of innocence and fun and playfulness where, like, our life is just full of joy, right? And it's full of fun, and you make everything more entertaining, more enjoyable for this person. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. Now, when it comes to why this person is so stuck on your energy, I think in the past, this person had scared a lot of people away. And for some reason, you stuck around, right? You made this person feel like they were worthy of love, like they were worthy of time and attention and affection and care, worthy of effort. I feel like this is someone who probably didn't have a lot of past connections, whether it's love or just a talking stage or even marriage. I feel like in this person's past, they didn't have a lot of experience with someone who really saw who they were and really acknowledged them and really gave them the time of day like you do, right? You didn't run from them. You weren't afraid of them. In fact, I feel like in some cases, again, this is a general reading, but in some cases I feel like you may have approached this person first. You may have made the first move, or you may have been a bit more driven and motivated and kind of in pursuit of this person, whereas they may have been a bit more aloof because that's the energy they were used to, right? And so they were constantly around very standoffish people who always ran, people who were very aloof and were very closed off, and so they kind of mirrored that and adopted that energy. But you were like this light in the darkness for them. Whew. We also have the King of Pentacles. So for some of you guys, I feel like you may be married to this person, or you may have discussed marriage. If not, this person definitely thought about some very serious commitment. Again, this is going to be different for everyone. Some of you may be in separation, some of you may be together, some of you may just be talking. I don't know, case by case, but this person feels like they're tied to you because they wanted to commit to you, and they have in their own way, like whether it's like a spiritual commitment, a physical commitment, or literally marriage. This person, in their mind, in their energy, they have committed to you, and that is why they feel so tied to you, because they've given this part of themselves, or a part of their life, or a part of their energy, their spirit, their heart, their mind, their body, their soul, to you, to have, to hold, to house in your own body, in your own being. And I feel like this is someone who, for some of you, this may be someone who did provide for you, or did, often give you financial gifts, like expensive gifts or money, or pay for things for you very often. And that's not the case for everyone, but some of you, this person may have a lot of money, or may have the drive to make a lot of money. It's definitely someone who feels ambitious, but also grounded at the same time. Like, I don't feel like this is someone who's reckless with money. The King of Pentacles is very wealthy but stable, and knows how to properly invest, right? He knows what to do with his finances. He's not out here like the King of Wands, for instance, and just running the roads and blowing money. And maybe he brings in a lot of money, but he's not blowing it everywhere, right? It's not a very impulsive or reckless energy. And this person feels like when they were with you, you made them feel even more grounded, right? I feel like this is naturally someone who's pretty grounded. They feel like they, for the most part, have their life together, but you really brought that out in them. Maybe before they met you, they weren't, super stable, or maybe they weren't very put together, or, they just didn't have it, all of their ducks in a row, right? But something about you made this person want to get their shit together, right? Something about this person, or something about you, made this person want to commit more, and I feel like they did. They really stepped up because of the way that you made them feel seen and heard and loved, and the way that you really exposed them. So let's look at the message cards. We have, how do I get you alone? There's a strange, deep connection between us, and you are always so sweet. So I do feel like, again, earlier when I was talking about the Sun card, I was talking about you being very magnetic, and always turning heads when you walk into the room, always getting attention. And they know that, right? And that could be why this Taurus energy, this King of Pentacles energy is coming through, because like they want to lock you down. They want to make sure that you are theirs and theirs alone, right? There's something about you that makes them want to really put a ring on your finger and keep you away from everybody else, to prevent any risk of you leaving them, any risk of you being found by someone else, right? Because they know they have a good thing, or they did have a good thing, depending on your situation. But they don't want you with anyone else, for sure. Like, this isn't like someone who doesn't care who you're with, or doesn't care what you do. Like, they care, right? They care deeply about who you're around. If you're around other people that could be potential suitors, they want you all to themselves. And I feel like, I don't see a lot of cups here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a deep connection. I think that love may not necessarily be what's holding the connection together right now. Because that's why we're pulling these cards, is to see why you two are still tied to one another. It feels like it's more of this magnetism, this attraction, and this physical level of commitment. How you make them physically feel in their bodies, how you make them feel seen, feel heard, feel present and grounded. And I think that they are really understanding that, you know, they have to be connected to you on a deeper level for that to happen. Because they have thought they were connected to other people deeply, but no one ever made them feel like that, right? No one ever made them feel at home, right? The King of Pentacles is a very homey energy, right? And I think that you're just generally going back to the sun. You're sweet, right? Like, you're kind, you're full of joy, you brighten their day. Like, there's just this genuine sweetness to you, right? Like, you have this soft and gentle and sweet soul that really just makes their life better, right? Like, you improve the way they feel, the way they see the world. You improve their life, and that's what they're looking for, right? Like, that's what they're looking for in someone long term, and I can respect that, and I can appreciate that. Yeah. So that is your reading, group 1. Thank you again for being here. I am going to move on to group 2. Okay, so starting strong, we have the Devil. So I do I do feel like this is, maybe for some of you it may be more of a situationship or friends with benefits, or, you know, something that is more sexually driven, kind of chaotic. The Devil doesn't have to be a very sexual card. I'm feeling something a bit more primal, right? Like, very heated, very chaotic, like quickie in the bathroom or in the closet kind of visuals that I'm getting. Like, it's like the late night booty call that I'm feeling. It's not saying no one has feelings or no one's caught feelings, but I feel like the current state of what's keeping this connection together, what's keeping you two, you know, energetically linked, is more of a physically primal driven connection. And I do feel like this is being led by the more masculine of the two of you. It doesn't have to be a man or a male, but just whoever's more masculine. I feel like that's who has this passion and fire that's really burning inside of them to pursue the other. So, in terms of them, like, staying tied to you and keeping them attracted to you or pulled, drawn toward you, we have the octopus in reverse. And I feel like this is because this octopus can go two ways, all right? Usually, you know, it can be a very emotionally chaotic energy, right? Upright, it's someone who's kind of all over the place, usually pretty anxious, but just emotionally just all over the place, right? And when this card is reversed, it can be heightened, where you have very severe mood swings around this person. But it also could be, I feel like for a lot of you, it's probably just you act like you don't care, right? You act like you don't care, and so they're drawn to you even more. And I think that's, you know, keeping them even more primally driven, more passionately driven towards you, is because for most of you, you know, you're not really expressing a lot of emotions. You're just there to have fun for a little while, and then you pick up and leave. Now, for some of you, though, it's really heightened emotions, and like just kind of like fighting just to get angry and then have makeup sex, right? Like that kind of emotional intensity. Or you know, I know some people like to be roughhoused a bit in the bedroom, so like I can see someone just smacking them around and them enjoying it, right? There's something about the emotional charge of you that is kind of keeping them sucked in. But again, this card reverse can be kind of both ways. So take that, how it stands for you, how it resonates for you. Now, why you can't stop feeling their energy. I feel like you get what you get, right? I feel like you are someone who is leaving the door open for them, right? Like I feel like for this group, and I'm saying this, I'm a very blunt person, but I'm trying to say this in as loving of a way as possible. If this connection upsets you, if the state of this connection upsets you, you're kind of, I don't want to say you're doing it to yourself, because they are bringing the energy, but like, you're the one that sets the boundaries. You're the one that sets the rules. So if you're not setting appropriate boundaries and rules with this person, you're going to get this from them, right? You're going to get that energy, that very primal, sexually driven, lack of emotion, friends with benefits situationship, right? So if that's not what you want, you have the power to change that, right? Like, step in, set some rules, set some boundaries. They're probably not going to like it at first, but they'll get with a program, or someone else will get in line, right? So yeah, I mean, I feel like they know that. They know that I feel like they know where your boundaries lie and what your rules are. And I think they kind of take advantage of that. I feel like this is definitely someone who, takes advantage. They don't feel like someone who's very consistent. They don't feel like someone who does what they say they're going to do. Even if it's just like a situationship and they're like, hey, I'll be there at like 9 p.m. to hit it and quit it. They might show up at 12 a.m., right? Like, this feels like someone who's still, even though, it's not a very committed connection, it still feels like someone who's just not really responsible or consistent or reliable. I told you, this is a very well-loved deck. Okay, so we have thank you for your beautiful presence in reverse. Facing my reflection is more than I could handle. I could listen to your voice for days on end. This, absolutely sexual. This is not like, I want to stay up all night talking to you. This is like, I want to hear you moan for me. I want to hear you scream for me. Make some more noise for me. Like, this is someone who likes you being vocal. They want to know that they're doing well, right? And for some of you, I feel like this person literally wants you to yell at them and like degrade them. Like, they like that in the bedroom. This is someone who's very, I feel like they have a very low sense of self-esteem and a very warped perception of themselves. And so they kind of feed into that, like, hey, talk down to me kind of mentality, right? Now, when we see this one, the thank you for your beautiful presence, again, I don't think they're necessarily appreciating you for who you are. I think, again, they're taking advantage of you because they know where your rules are, they know where your boundaries are, but they're still just, oh, well, I'm going to do what I want. Even though you have the power, you don't know it's like you don't know you have the power, or you're not executing that authority. And they're taking advantage of that. Yeah. Because I think you're definitely someone who has the power to be a mirror for this person. You have the power and the authority to reflect a lot of their inner demons. But when you're blinded to it and you're not using your energy appropriately, they're not seeing that. So I feel like as soon as you take that blindfold off and you start setting rules with this person, shit's gonna hit the fan for them, and they're not gonna feel comfortable, right? Then the tables are gonna turn, and they're gonna be the one that's gonna be really emotionally charged and chaotic and all over the place. Yeah. It doesn't feel like a very, it feels more like a fun connection, not something that's very loving or safe. or stable feeling, right? Like emotionally or spiritually. So I am not your mother and I'm not your therapist and I'm not God, but I do want to just say that you are very loved and please be safe in case this is a connection that's a bit more toxic and aggressive. I want everyone to, be safe. So anyway, pile 2, that is all I have for you today. So I am going to kindly move on to pile 3. All right. Last but not least, we have pile 3, starting with the moon. Whew. So why are they still tied to you? I don't feel, okay, when I say this, I don't want to say it's similar to pile 2 because it's not the same, but I do feel that you may be kind of hiding your emotions a bit, or maybe you're controlling your emotions more than some of the people that they're with. I feel like you guys are kind of, for some of you, like you just get to be weird together. Like you get to be yourself, you get to be, you and your person both feel very unique, but maybe you're afraid to show that to the world. But then when you come together, you both just really start expressing yourselves and start showing who you are, and you just feel comfortable, right? Like you feel comfortable in the weird, right? You're okay being weird and being, bare in front of this person and just yourself and showing them all of you, right? But still kind of holding back some emotions. I do feel like you're very put together, very beautiful. Like you seem like someone who is very aesthetically pleasing, right? Whether it's, you're always done up, or your outfits are always on point, your hair's always done, you're always like matching accessories or whatever, matching the other person. There's something about you always looking like your best, or looking put together, or just like having this really beautiful elegance about you. And I feel like, when they see you, they're like, oh shit, I'm gonna step up my game, and I've gotta keep up with this person, right? And so then it makes them want to, start looking better, start taking care of themselves more, start maybe going to the gym or eating healthier or just dressing better in general. Like there's something about you having this just etheric beauty about yourself that makes them think they need to step up their game too. And I feel like you're also someone who's pretty, again, we have a lot of water energy. I feel like you might be someone who's really in control of your emotions. Maybe it's not so much that you don't show it at all, but you definitely feel like someone who has it under control, or at least you seem like you do to your person. I feel like you give this person like an emotionally safe space, right? Because sometimes we get into relationships that are very chaotic and don't feel emotionally safe, kind of like that would be pile 2, right? You seem to provide this person with, this comfort, right? Like this nurturing, I don't want to say motherly energy. Maybe you are their mommy, who knows? But you just have like this very loving, kind, gentle, emotionally stable energy. And I think this being in the reversed position is more so about them being quite insecure. I feel like, again, going back to like, oh, you can just be weird together. They feel pretty insecure. Maybe they've been a real big outcast for a long time. They've been the black sheep of the family, the friend group, the world in general. And you like give them this newfound sense of confidence, right? Like maybe when they're not around you, they feel like, oh, I'm nothing, I'm no one, I can't do it, I'm never gonna do anything with my life, I'm never gonna go anywhere, I'm never gonna, get the things I'm working towards, or I'm never gonna be able to accomplish anything. But you give them this like motivation, this drive, this passion, this endurance and confidence to get shit done, right? Like you encourage them and you really speak life into them so that they can accomplish their goals and their dreams. Like I feel like you just really light them up. Like maybe it's, again, with the stable emotions and the words that you speak into them, but like you just really encourage this person to keep going even when they feel like, you know, they're at their wits' end and they just can't keep going anymore. We have, I can't bear to build it all again, to watch it all wash away. So your person might be a bit hesitant to open up fully. Even though they feel like they can be weird around you and stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean they're fully emotionally opening up, right? Everything you've ever said to me, I've taken to heart. I was just saying that. Like, it feels like you speak life into this person. Like, you really say things that heals a part of them that's been broken for so long, that makes them feel loved and cared for and feel like they can get things done, like they can really do something and make something of themselves. And that's a very beautiful thing, right? Like I feel like at least this is my perspective, but from my perspective, I do believe a marriage, you know, is supposed to include you two lifting one another up. And whether you're married or not, I feel like this person thinks that you do that for them. And that's a part of the reason why they're still around you, why they still stick with you, and why they stay with your energy. We also have I desire you deeply and eternally. Eternal with the swan. I really think, like, again, I don't want to talk marriage with everybody. We did a bit in group 1, but you know, I do think this person is probably considering it. I don't know if they've fully taken that step. I feel like they're a bit more emotionally distant than they really want to be before they take that kind of step. So for most of you, this person probably has not said that to you. I think it's just a way that they're feeling, that they might still be concealing and hiding behind that moon card. But yeah, I do feel like this is someone who really wants to always be around you. Like they feel like they can be themselves. They feel like they don't have to fully hide from you the way they have to hide from the world. And you know, I think part of it too is like this could be somebody that's like into some weird stuff in terms of like things they study or hyperfixate on, or maybe some, you know, hobbies that they have. They feel like they're weird hobbies compared to the rest of the world, but like they can just talk to you for hours about this stuff, even though it might be something that no one else wants to listen to. Like you listen to them and then you have these deep conversations with them about it, and it just makes them feel alive, right? That's a very beautiful energy to have. So anyway, that is all I have for you today, group 3. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I will see you guys next time.